Alright guys, we are down at the bench shooting some 22 Creedmoor. We're shooting the final load of the 80 grain ELDM. I'm out of bullets anyways, so this will be the final, whether it shoots good or not. The last one shot under ½ inch, 0.4 something, I can't remember. But shooting 100 yards like always, and yeah, hopefully it shoots the same. This load is 36.6 grains of H4350. We are touching the lands. I think that's it. It is the last bullets I had of 80 grain ELDMs. I'll order more, especially if this doesn't shoot very good. I mean, I think I'm pretty much at the limit at what this will. I can tinker with it more, don't get me wrong, but if I got other bullets I got to get to, so if this shoots, you know, because the way I've noticed with 22 Creedmoor is any little bit of change of anything, any little bit of powder change or anything really sends everything out of whack. So we'll see how this shoots. If it shoots horrible, then I'll order another box and try and tinker with it a little bit later on. But I'm excited to get to the burgers, and we got to get moving on. I want to get to some burgers. I want to get to that 95 grain Sierra. All of those good bullets coming up. So yeah, either way, let me go set up the targets here, and we'll get this going. All right, guys, let's get this going. So we have 3 groups of 5. 2 fowlers, all at the same weight and same CBTO. Also, we're trying out the new PTG speed lock bolt assembly. I got that put in. I don't think we'll see any difference. I don't know. I don't know what we'll see. But I already know the bolt is a little smoother, and all the way to the right is the 2 fowlers, gonna shoot at that dot. So I'm a little low. I do remember this is sighted in a little low. I can't remember if it's sighted in a little left or right or not, but alright. Let's see if, yeah, see, ejecting that. I didn't have any problems ejecting, but the bolt lift and all that was just a little bit harder on this. Not as hard as the frickin' 308, the Savage action there, man. I actually tried to conquer that last night to see if maybe it was my head spacing. Maybe I had the head spacing a little too tight. But I ripped that whole 308 back apart, tried to head space it a little looser, but as you know with headspace, a little teeny crank of the barrel and you're allowing the no-go gauge to go. So like, there isn't much room. You got like 5 thousandths of room there, tops. So I undid the barrel on the 308 so that way it would go on the no-go, and that Savage action still has that heavy lift, heavy click up. You know, it goes easy to a certain point, so like right about there, and then it's click, and it's a heavy click. And I realize it's in the actual, it's the springs on the inside that's doing it, because this was doing that as well, and now it's smooth all the way up. It don't have that let go part. So smooth, 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 smooth. See? And with the Savage, and with this, before I did the PTG firing assembly, it would go smooth to about here, and then it would just let go, and it would be a hard a hard let go. And for some reason I was thinking it was my head spacing, but I should have known better. Yeah, either way. So that bullet was 30-17. So I don't know if Savage sells a kit like this, but I would love to get rid of it, because that Savage freaking action, man, it's very disappointing so far. I'll tell you the reasons why I'm disappointed with it, and that's one of them. I'll maybe do another video of it or something. Alright, so, but yeah, so far, that PTG, that's a perfect lift up. Nice and smooth. So just by sitting on those two bullets right next to each other, it's looking pretty good. That bullet went in a little bit heavy, hard too, so that might have been seated out a little longer than what it should have been. And that's what I was telling you guys on the bench. That's the problem with having it right at touching, because if you're just a little long by a couple thousandths, you know, if your touching number isn't generous, a little generous, then if you're right pretty much close to jam, then any mess up in the measurement, well, any mess up long is going to jam into the lens. Alright, so we're going all the way to the left now. That bullet was 30-63, and no sense in reading. Yeah, see, that's so smooth up now. And there was a guy that commented in my comments asking if my bolt handle, it looked like my bolt handle lifted really heavy. And that's the reason why, is because the factory recoil spring in this, or firing spring, or whatever you want to, not a recoil spring, it'd be firing spring. As you guys saw, if you watched the video of me showing you the PTG bolt, it's all bound up, and that's kind of how the Savage is as well. It's all bound up in there, and extra long, you know, a lot longer than what it needs to be. All right, guys, let's move on. All right, moving on. Getting to the groups now. Alright, first group. Hopefully they're all exactly the same. Hopefully none of these, hopefully I can shoot all these and none of them are seated out a little too long. Alright, chronograph is reset all the way to the left. First dot on the left. .30-51. Everything looks good. Primers are nice and rounded, so. .30-41. Yeah, just a slight crater to it. I don't think it's any worse than what it was actually to start off with. So this is supposed to have aluminum firing pin with a steel tip. I'm pretty sure that's how this is. Yeah, group isn't looking good already. It's alright. $30.65. $30.61. $30.40. Alright, so we are an average of 30.62, an ES, or sorry, SD of 10.2, and an ES of 25.5. Not a horrible ES, but not a horrible SD, but not a good ES. Alright, let's move on. Alright, second dot over. $30.30. $30.42. Everything looks good. $30.37. Man, I like this frickin' firing assembly. There we go. Starting to look good. $30.51. Oh, that one looks under an inch. Not under half, but looks smaller than the dot I'm shooting at, which means under an inch. We'll see though. $30.48. I'm about ready to just move right on to the next group here. Alright, so we had an average of 30.42, an SD of 7.4, and an ES of 20.3. So yet again, a lot better SD than ES. I'll have to go back and look through them all. Alright guys, let's move on to the last group. Last dot over. Well, other than the Fowler. Third dot over, I guess. Okay, so this is the one with the black line on it. This one's seated at 14 thousandths deeper than what it should be. Because this is the first one I loaded, and I fucked up the die. Fucked up the die setting. .30-53. Don't you dare fall on the ground. So if this one's an outlier, then we know it's probably the seating depth. The rest were seated normally. So these four are all the same. .30-47. A lot warmer day today. The barrel's just now starting to get warm. This is a lot thinner barrel profile than my 308 as well. But we are actually almost 70 degrees today. I like to figure out a way to get rid of it. I know it's hard. That little bit of heartbeat wiggle. Obviously I'd have to probably stop my heartbeat to get rid of that, I guess, but the only way I've known to do that is to press less on the gun, try not to have any body part on the gun, but it's, you gotta have something. I'm not gonna free recoil, because anytime I've tried to free recoil, the fucking bullet goes way out of whack. So I just try and take that shot when my heartbeat puts it in the center. Because my heartbeat actually makes it go left and right, not up and down. Your breath makes it go up and down. But I've heard some people say the heartbeat makes it go up and down. Mine does not. Well, I was on the left edge of that. I broke it. 3006. Wow, that frickin' velocity's way off. Looks like that one bullet was an outlier. The rest, come on. The rest are all kind of falling in a spread out clover leaf. 3009. That one seems low too. Yeah, 3051. So yeah, this one's gonna be way out of whack. Alright, so an average of 3033, so the average isn't too far off. Went from an average of 3062, 3042, and a 3033. So I guess from that average to the first average, yeah, that is quite far off actually. 30 feet per second. 30, yeah, about 30, 31-ish. SD of 21.2 and an ES of 47.3. worst one of the day. So at least we got one group in there that was a pretty good group. We'll measure it up at the bench. And a decent, really good SD, 7.4, and whatever, so-so ES at 20, 7.4 SD and a 20.3 ES. So that's not bad. Not god-awful. And it looks like a good group. So, I don't know. We'll see. Alright guys, let's get this all up at the bench here and we'll check it out. Alright guys, we're back up at the bench. Let's take a look at these. So, had some mediocre groups, I guess. One okay one. Oh yeah. Let me straighten out this paper here so it... There. Alright. So the first one, remember, they're all the same load-wise. 39.2 grains. Let me see here. 36.6 grains. Let me flip over to the right page here on my other book. Right there. Okay, yeah. 36.6 grains, all at touching the lands, which is at 2.124 for this rifle. Let's get these groups measured. Let me zero out the calipers here. Let me make sure you guys can see it all. Yeah, that's good enough. So, this one, right off the bat, we know is not very good. Definitely over an inch. Oh, I say definitely, but these two are the furthest apart. And we're pretty much at an inch. Which it's about the same size as that circle, so we're looking at 911.911 middle to middle, so pretty much an inch. We'll call it an inch. Let me write this down. Alright, next one. Things looked up, you know, group wise and chronograph wise. The last one was a 10.2 SD and a 25.5 ES, so you know, whatever, mediocre SD I guess, and horrible ES. So this one we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 that grouped right, almost, you know, right together, and then 2 that just came on the outside a little bit. Nice little group though, actually. I think these 2 are going to be the ones that are furthest apart. I'll check the other ones, but center to center, about that, just over half inch. Can you guys see that? I think so. Just over half inch, 0.526. Let me check these ones. No, these ones are smaller, center to center, so they're closer together. So those are my 2 furthest ones apart. And yeah, we're looking at 0.526. That ain't bad. I'll take that all day long, like I've said many times. Around half inch. I'd like it just a hair under, but if it's just a hair over, I'll be happy with that too. And then our third group of the day, I think this one, that one right there was the one that was seated in a lot further, so you can, or 14 thousandths further. So you can tell that is an outlier. I'll count it in. I'm not going to be picky here, but you can tell the others tried grouping right in there. You got 1, 2 that went through almost the same hole, and then 2 more that are right next to that. So without the outlier, we're looking at under half inch. Yeah, those are the 2 furthest ones apart. 0.469, and then with the outlier, I'm going to write 0.469 without, and with it we're looking at middle to middle, about 0.815. That ain't bad. 815. Alright, with mess up. Okay, so, yeah, I don't know. All in all, pretty inconsistent, obviously. You know, I could definitely probably tune that a little bit better, a little bit more. I mean, you know, maybe this is the best I can get out of that gun. Maybe it don't like the 80 grain ELDM. Maybe it is still too a little light for that twist rate. Remember, guys, we're dealing with the ridiculous twist rate. You know, it is what it is. But I still think we're going to be able to get a bullet to shoot great through this. And I'm moving on. I'm moving on to... hold on, let me look here. Alright, guys, so these are the next bullets we got coming, or all the bullets that's coming for 22 Creedmoor. I'd like to go in order, so we just left 80 grain, so I think our next one will be... Come on now. So an 85.5, I have a 90, 95, an 88, and an 85. Okay, so next one up is going to be the Barnes match burners at 85 grains. Now these actually shot the best out of my 6.5 Creedmoor. It is the smallest shooting bullet I had at .2, 0.28 something or .2 something. It's been a while. So I got high hopes for this. Barnes makes a really good bullet, and yeah, it ended up being the smallest bullet out of the 6.5 Creed. So this will be next. We'll do a quick pressure test, obviously. Then we'll go. You know, we'll try and get through it. I'm not going to try and rush through it. Obviously, these bullets are going to take us until probably end of winter, until probably, depending on weather, into next summer. But 85 grain is next, and then we're obviously moving to, which would be 85.5 Burger, would be next after that. And then after that, which I almost want to skip Barnes and go to the Burger, but I can't. That was such a good shooting bullet out of my 6.5 Creedmoor, and hopefully it is for 22. So after that, we'll go to the Burger 85.5. After that, we're going to go to the 88 ELD match. After that, we go back to Burger to the 90 grain. And then the king of all bullets, I don't know about that, but I love Sierra, but king as in weight-wise, it's the heaviest 22 I could find. 95 grain Sierra Match King. So that's what we got coming up. I'll be starting right away with the Barnes. That way we can hopefully get to Burger before you know, massive cold comes. And yeah, it'd be great if we can start shooting some nice groups from here on out. Then I know, you know, 85 and up is the way to go with this 1 in 6 twist. And that's kind of what I'm thinking is these heavier bullets. We're going to start seeing some really nice groups with it. I'm hoping. Now, you know, maybe it is just the SHILEN barrel. You know, SHILEN's got a good barrel, don't get me wrong. My best shooting barrel so far has been Criterion. Criterion and Krieger. Those have been my two best so far. But, you know, we'll see. I'm just hoping for good groups from here on out. That's all I'm hoping. Alright, guys. Next will probably be a 308 video. We're going to finish up. I already got them loaded up. We got to finish up the 168 grain boat tail hollow points with that. It's a final load test. And then we're moving on to 22 Creedmoor for a while. And hopefully we can get through this match burner and get some good groups out of that. Alright guys, if you guys like this, or if you guys could hit the like, I'd appreciate that a lot. And if you like this content, you know, subscribing would be great. That helps me as well. And if you don't want to do that, just leave a comment. I appreciate all the feedback. Alright guys, I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.